Have you ever felt that faint tingle along your spine, like a gentle current of electricity, sparking your curiosity about what really goes on beneath the surface of everyday life? You're not alone. There was once a brilliant mind who wrestled with these same questions. A man who believed that every cell of our body is teeming with secrets just waiting to be tapped. His name was Itzhak Bentov, an inventor, a researcher of consciousness, and a fearless explorer of realms most of us never knew existed. He caught the eye of the CIA during the intense Cold War era, and some people even speculate that he may have known too much for his own good. Today, we're diving deep into Bentov's astonishing ideas, from the incredible concept of a holographic universe to the energizing power of Kundalini, and all the way to the possibility of bending time with our minds. Strap yourself in, because this might just shake up the way you see reality. It was May 25, 1979, a day that began like any other until it became etched in American history. American Airlines Flight 191 was scheduled to fly from Chicago to Los Angeles. Among its passengers was Itzhak Bentov, heading west to share some of his most profound insights into human consciousness. But just 31 seconds after takeoff, tragedy struck. The plane crashed, resulting in one of the worst aviation disasters on U.S. soil. To this day, some people wonder if there was more to Bentov's untimely death than mere bad luck. Was he on the verge of exposing remarkable findings the world wasn't ready to hear? Or was it nothing more than fate's cruel hand? Whatever your stance, one thing is certain: Bentov's innovative work has carried on, raising eyebrows and opening minds in the decades since. Bentov may not be as famous as Einstein or Tesla, but his contributions are no less intriguing. He had a knack for diving headfirst into the unknown, particularly the elusive boundary between science and spirituality. The steerable cardiac catheter? Yes, the hospital tool that doctors use to navigate blood vessels with precision. Bentov played a huge role in its invention. He had no formal medical degree, but he was fueled by a boundless curiosity. This invention alone revolutionized certain areas of medical procedures and turned Bentov into a successful entrepreneur. Mystical explorer, beyond his engineering successes, Bentov was fascinated by the hidden powers of the human mind. He was convinced that consciousness, what we feel, perceive, and sense, held the key to accessing higher dimensions. This wasn't just idle daydreaming. He tested, measured, and documented his findings like any good scientist. CIA's quiet interest during the 1970s and 80s, at the height of Cold War tensions, secret government projects in the U.S. and the Soviet Union were rumored to be racing to unlock human psychic abilities. Think remote viewing, telepathy, even psychokinesis, things you see in science fiction. Bentov's studies on how consciousness might bridge physical and metaphysical realities put him squarely on the CIA's radar. Was he actually involved in clandestine experiments? Although official documents are always murky, we do know that his ideas were so radical that intelligence agencies found them fascinating. When governments start paying attention to your theories, you know you're onto something either incredibly profound or profoundly unsettling. If you've ever watched grains of sand dance on a speaker playing your favorite psalm, you've witnessed a tiny clue about how Bentov saw our entire universe. According to him, all reality is rooted in vibrations, including the objects we consider solid. Sound as a creative force. Bentov believed that sound isn't just a simple wave. In many ancient spiritual texts, there's a notion that the universe began with a word or a tone. Bentov suggested this ancient metaphor might be literally true. He saw vibrations like those we create when we speak or sing as something that structures reality. Synchronized patterns. If you drop multiple pebbles into a pond, you see concentric circles of ripples. Where these ripples overlap, they create intriguing shapes, interference patterns. Bentov used this as an analogy for how everything in the cosmos interacts. Our individual vibrations, whether from thoughts or emotions, overlap to create the tapestry we perceive as the world. Atom. The great illusion: peer into an atom and you'll discover mostly empty space. Electrons zip around a nucleus, but there's no little marble of solid mass at the core, just energetic fields. So why don't our hands pass straight through a table? Because the fields in our atoms repel the fields in the table's atoms. It's all energy, or so Bentov believed. From his perspective, the solidity we see is a brilliant magic trick orchestrated by vibrating fields. One of Bentov's boldest ideas was that both our brains and the universe itself function like holograms. Here's a simple way to imagine this. The hologram principle: in a standard hologram, if you break a holographic plate into pieces, each fragment can still project the entire original image, just at a lower resolution. In Bentov's view, the cosmos is structured in such a way that each part contains a reflection of the whole. This implies we carry a piece of universal information right inside us. Interconnected minds. If we are all part of this grand hologram, it's not such a stretch to think that our consciousness might communicate or overlap. Telepathy, intuition, empathy, these might be glimpses of a shared network, a universal database. The ripple effect. Bentov often used an image of 3 stones tossed into water to illustrate how overlapping wavefronts generate an interference pattern. Replace stones with people, and it's easy to imagine that every thought and emotion creates ripples that subtly affect everyone else. It's a bit like how a group of instruments, perfectly tuned, can resonate together without anyone touching the strings of the other instruments. If you've dabbled in yoga or meditation, you've probably heard the term Kundalini. It's often described as a dormant spiritual energy curled at the base of the spine. Bentov saw Kundalini not just as a mystical concept, but as a real phenomenon that changes our physical and mental states. In sync with the earth, our bodies, he claimed, naturally oscillate close to 7 Hz. That's suspiciously close to the Earth's natural frequency, known as the Schumann resonance, around 7.83 G. When the heart, brain, and other systems aligned in that frequency range, we enter a state of deep harmony, potentially opening doors to higher consciousness. Clearing the path. As Kundalini rises, it can clear out emotional and energetic blockages. Think of your body as a musical instrument in need of tuning. When energy flows freely, you get a beautiful melody. But if there's tension or fear, it's like a guitar string that's out of tune, noisy, discordant, and possibly painful. Brains wired for resonance. Bentov used special equipment, like ballisticardiographs, to measure tiny vibrations in people as they meditated deeply. He noticed that breath slows to a near standstill, the heartbeat forms a gentle sine wave, and at peak moments, both hemispheres of the brain sync up. This synchronicity might be the key to stepping out of regular consciousness. It's like a cosmic elevator ride. Once everything lines up, the elevator doors open, and you can access upper floors you didn't even know existed. Bentov proposed something astonishing. In deep meditation or similar states, we momentarily slip out of linear time. According to him, reality flickers in and out of existence several times per second like a cosmic strobe light. Normally, we only focus on the on part of the cycle, so we're unaware of those little off gaps that might connect us to other dimensions. Subjective V's. Objective time. Think of objective time as what your clock shows, and subjective time is how you personally experience it. When you're bored, a minute can feel like an hour. When you're thrilled, an hour zips by like a minute. Bentov believed we can consciously expand our subjective time, making 1 second of clock time feel like 2 or more in our personal awareness. A simple exercise. Bentov once described a quirky clock experiment to show how your mind can partially tune out external reality. You sit in front of a clock with a second hand. You relax, focus on a favorite daydream or mental image, and only lightly hold onto the movement of that second hand in your periphery. Some people report that, for brief moments, the second hand appears to freeze. Could your mind be stepping away from the flow of time? or simply filtering out the clock's motion. Touching the infinite, Bentov believed that if you could shift your perspective so drastically that your subjective time runs at a totally different angle than objective time, you might transcend normal space-time altogether. That's where you approach a mystical state called samadhi, in which you feel boundless, as if you inhabit the entire cosmos. It's the ultimate expansion of consciousness, the point where time becomes elastic and you realize you're more than you ever imagined. If you're picturing a giant glowing egg in space, you're not far off from Bentov's vision. He described the universe as a kind of cosmic egg that hatches and reforms in endless cycles. From compression to expansion, imagine all matter and energy squished down into a single point, a compact egg. Then, in a colossal burst, that egg cracks open and expands in a certain direction, forming galaxies, stars, and planets in a toroidal, donut-like pattern. Think of it as a cosmic heartbeat, forever pulsing and recycling. Black holes, white holes. According to Bentov, black holes pull in matter, while something called white holes can shoot that matter out into a new reality. Perhaps our universe itself sprang from a white hole and exit door for something that once got devoured in a previous cosmic cycle. A never-ending adventure, as far as Bentov was concerned. When the universe eventually contracts again, everything returns home to start over. It's like an epic story that's retold through countless chapters. Each time, consciousness evolves a bit more, gaining self-awareness and complexity. We're travelers on this cosmic merry-go-round, intimately connected to the entire creation. So, why would intelligence agencies in the middle of a Cold War care about vibrations, holograms, and mystical eggs? The short answer: potential power. Remote viewing and mind over matter. If the mind truly functions within a holographic field, maybe it doesn't need to be limited by distance. The government's interest in remote viewing aimed to see whether trained individuals could perceive secrets hidden thousands of miles away. Bentov's worldview suggested that, at a fundamental level, everything is interconnected, so the idea of seeing beyond normal senses isn't impossible. Influencing enemy minds. If consciousness is a tapestry of interwoven fields, might certain frequencies or thoughts be used to disrupt or influence an adversary's psyche? This leads to speculation about psychological warfare or mass manipulation ideas that can make you uneasy, to say the least. Personal liberation. On a brighter note, Bentov's work also speaks to personal growth. His revelations weren't just about turning people into psychic spies. They were about elevating humanity's awareness, helping us tune into deeper truths about who we are and how we connect. Many scientists bury their groundbreaking insights under dense theories and complex equations. Bentov, on the other hand, liked to doodle. He drew charming cartoons to illustrate his points, playful sketches that made lofty ideas feel personal and accessible. Levity meets depth. Imagine flipping through a page that depicts a little cartoon figure riding a wave of oscillations, representing how your body's vibrations might synchronize. Bentov had a knack for taking mind-blowing concepts and presenting them in ways that were fun, almost childlike in simplicity. Connecting to the soul, he spoke about cosmic cycles and neural frequencies, yet he never lost sight of the human heart. Beneath the science, there was always a message of unity. We're all strands in a vast cosmic tapestry. Bentov may be gone, but his ideas are still simmering in the minds of anyone willing to entertain the possibility that reality is more flexible than it seems. Start with stillness. One of the simplest ways to channel your inner Bentov is through regular meditation. It's in those moments of quiet, when you slow your breath and calm your thoughts, that you might sense a deeper rhythm under the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Experiment with visualization. You don't have to buy fancy lab equipment to try out his clock-stopping trick. All you need is a simple timepiece and a vivid imagination. Let your mind wander to a tranquil beach, a rolling meadow, or any scene that brings you joy. Then, in a soft, playful way, observe how you perceive time. You might find that those seconds become slippery or elastic in surprising ways. Practice resonance in relationships. The next time you're in a room with family or friends, think of yourself as a violin. Listen closely to their tone. Are they anxious, sad, or upbeat? Imagine your own energy gently tuning in. Sometimes, simply being present and empathetic can create a shared resonance that shifts the entire atmosphere. Keep learning. Bentov's theories weave together threads from physics, metaphysics, spirituality, and psychology. Dive into his books or explore other researchers in this field. The more you learn, the bigger your mental map becomes, and the more prepared you'll be to navigate these uncharted waters. So there you have it, Itzhak Bentov's extraordinary journey and the big ideas he left behind. He believed we're cosmic explorers, physical bodies cruising through a vibrating universe with the capacity to elevate our consciousness beyond anything we've yet imagined. Was he a visionary who glimpsed the fabric of reality a little too clearly? Or was he simply one of many brilliant minds connecting dots the rest of us hadn't spotted yet? Ultimately, that's for you to decide. But here's one thing to keep in mind. If even a fraction of Bentov's theories are valid, the implications are massive. It means we're more than just flesh and bones scrambling for survival. We might be interconnected sparks of awareness, harmonizing with the very pulse of creation. To me, that's an exciting possibility, one that can inspire us to live with more curiosity, compassion, and open-mindedness. Because if consciousness is truly the canvas on which reality is painted, then every thought, every dream, and every act of love matters more than we'll ever know. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this deep dive into the incredible world of Itzhak Bentov. I genuinely hope these insights spark a new sense of wonder in you. Maybe you'll even try out a few experiments of your own. If you liked this journey, let me know in the comments, or in whatever format you prefer, what part intrigued you the most. Until next time, keep your mind open and your heart tuned to the subtle beats of our ever-dancing universe. After all, there just might be more to reality than meets the eye, and isn't that a thought worth exploring?